very important in describing systems. It is an art. I have mentioned that it is an art. It is a part of creativity. We appreciate artistic creativity as an expression of mathematical models. See the famous Pallava artifact in Mahabalipuram. It is a model marvel of Indian architecture. More than 1000 years it survived. The Shilpis of Mahabalipuram created this artifact, Shilpakala, by carving the stone, following the basic principles of Shilpa Shastra. In Shilpa Shastra, simple creativity, the knowledge of circle and line are very, very important. And an artist or a painter or a Shilpi can perform very well if he is well versed in the principles of lines and circles. So the study of geometrical forms is the basic qualification of making scientific designs. This monolithic artistic expression, the entire functioning of a forest where a king designated as Arjuna is doing his deep meditation to achieve salvation. This monolithic artistic expression is otherwise known as Arjuna's penance. It is everywhere appreciated as one of the most important cultural expression of Indian art and architecture. In the beginning, I have mentioned that modeling is an art of continuous scientific development. So creativity is involved. Understanding of the mathematics of creativity is very important in traditional science as well as in engineering science. If you are an artist, you can identify some of the familiarities of this picture. Of course, if you are a scientist, you can also see the elevation of the structure, the model temple structure. The Vimana, the dome of the temple, monolithic temple, is just like the shape of an elephant. You see, this is a model. It is a creation. This model is created from the basic understanding of the principles of circle and line. Similarly, an environmental scientist identifies each and every process in nature, and he translates what he is seeing in and around, even in a microbial cell, in a riverine system, in a lake system. In the form of a tank reactor or a tubular reactor. So creativity is a manifestation of a mathematical formula. It is a model. So he is creating a beautiful figure out of stone. The height, elevation, length, the facial expressions and everything is created based upon the basic understanding of the science of lines and the science of circles. So art and architecture is a manifestation of a mathematical formula. Precisely speaking, it is a manifestation of a rhythm-bound spatial forms according to a mathematical principle decided by Thalam and Kalam. In chemical reaction, I have mentioned that the rate of the reaction is very important. The rate of the reaction is equal to minus dCA by dt, rate of change of concentration of the substrate, A with respect to time. In design, making a new thing, we have to convert the materials. We have to transform the materials. If it is a stone material, wooden material, or for during the fabrication of an engineering system, we have to convert the material into a mathematical form decided by the basic unit in which the material is taken and how it is transformed with respect to time. In art, we say that an art is an expression of rhythm-bound spatial formations according to a mathematical principle decided by Thalam and Kalam. We are chemists, environmental scientists. We are dealing the substrate concentration and its transformation with respect to time. We are also studying the manifestation of rhythm-bound spatial forms of atoms and molecules according to the principles of chemical kinetics decided by the unit of molar concentration with respect to cubic meters of the fluid, as well as the flow rate of the system with respect to number of cubic meters flowing with respect to hours, decided by the time in seconds or in hours. So what is the significance of mathematical models for analytical chemists and chemical engineers? Deep knowledge of analytical chemistry and chemical engineering principles are very important to work as a professional environmental scientist. Chemists and chemical engineers are really accompanying artists or interpreters of a chain of activities, concerted reactions. So you environmental scientist, basically you must know the principles of chemistry and engineering. Here you are particularly concerned with the science of atoms and molecules and their dynamics in three-dimensional space, designated as reactants and substrate, and how they follow mathematical rules in the course of a process so that the substrates are converted into the products. Chemical process is a manifestation of a mathematical formula decided by nature. I have mentioned that basic units of a chemical reaction, the basic units of chemical creativity or molecular creativity or molecular transformation or transfer phenomena is decided by molar concentration and time, the time and the rate of the reactions. Based upon this knowledge, that again highlights that each and every process can be an expression of a mathematical formula. Will you please model the following thing? Yourself as a good teacher. A good teacher in the area of environmental science, I have mentioned that deep understanding of the principles of physics, chemistry, engineering, mathematics, and statistics. Of course, knowledge on the computer. So becoming an ideal environmental engineer, environmental scientist, environmental teacher, you must have basic understanding of the mathematical rules. Similarly, a flying bird in the sky, the aerodynamics controls the flying of bird in the sky. The buoyancy of the air, the principle of mechanics, the principles of motion, everything is involved. As simply a bird has to fly in open sky. A reactor, we elaborately discussed earlier the functioning of a reactor, comes to the point, a riverine system. Even a riverine system is a manifestation of mathematical formulas decided by a combination of tank reactors and tubular reactors. A river means a chain of tank reactors and tubular reactors decided by average flow rate of the river, the dissolved concentration of the components, mostly dissolved oxygen concentration, dissolved substrate concentration, and whatever you have studied in your environmental chemistry classes. The modeling of a watershed, how the rainwater is collected, the precipitation occurs, water is flowing through the watershed and it is collected and is drained into riverine system and ultimately recharging the soil horizons and ultimately discharges into the nearby sea. Everything can be expressed in the form of a mathematical relationship. A lake system. A lake is a combination, can be a combination of tank reactors, because into a lake the rivers are discharged. Into a lake, the fresh water is discharged by the rivers and rivulets. In the lake, the wastewater is discharged by the nearby industries. Industries take the fresh water as their feed, as a raw material to produce the materials. What is generated as the wastewater is discharged into the lake. So an industry acts as a source of pollution, a pollutant discharging point source. Rivers act as the freshwater discharging points. These are mixed within the lake system, so it has a good mixing zone. A lake can be designated as a huge waste holding tank. It is a continuously stirred tank systems by the air recirculation and the flow regime of the lake, and it is discharged into the open sea. What is excess, the mixed water is saline water and fresh water mixed together along with the wastewater is discharged into the sea. So a riverine system can be a combination of the tank reactors and the tubular reactors. A lake can be a combination of similar tank reactors and tubular reactors. So we can model all these things if you have a deep knowledge on the principles of mathematics involved. We can model at least a simple reaction, adsorption of methane gas on gas, adsorption of methane gas on carbon, because adsorption of gases is one of the first stages of where environmental model equations are applied in chemical systems. So adsorption science will be discussed elaborately in the later lectures. So dyeing a coir using malachite green, it is a reaction where dye is applied into a natural fiber. Formation of water molecule, a simple reaction we have studied from your early school days. The formation of water molecule, we write O2 gives 2H2O. 2H2 gives O2 gives 2H2O. In water, we write the balanced equation. Water H2O plus CO2 gives carbonic acid H2CO3. In each reaction's mass balance is involved. We subject the chemical reaction to the principles of mass balance. See the reaction between hydrogen and oxygen so that water is generated. We can see how the simple mathematics is involved. (2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2. 2A plus B gives 2C. 2A plus B minus 2C is equal to 0. With this simplicity, as an environmental scientist, how will you model the functioning of greater Cochin area? You know, this is the aerial image, the satellite image of entire parts of Trichure, Ernakulam and Alappuzha district. Here the Periyar is discharging into the Vembanad lake, Muvattupuzha river is discharging into the lake, Vembanad lake. It is a mixing zone. The industrial wastewaters are generated from the industrial Elur industrial area, and it is again reaching into the Vembanad lake. Finally, it is going out. You see, the entire geographical system, the functioning of the natural environmental system can be represented in the form of a simple tank reactor. I have mentioned from the very beginning, each and every process can be represented in the form of a tank reactor or a tubular reactor. We will study in later how this entire system connecting rivers and lakes can be expressed in the form of simple mathematical relationship and combination of tank reactors. Similarly, modeling of natural hazards, coastal hazards, the tsunami, the prediction, tsunami warning systems are developed nowadays based upon the height of the waves, the velocity of the wave propagation, the rate of inundation. That data, these data, either they are designated as realistic data or program variables. So a model can be generated and predictions can be made to study natural disasters. Is the how 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami struck on the coastal areas of the Cochin. Some of the pictures I have collected that time. The inundation happened. The severity of the tsunami is decided to what level the wave front reached in the mainland. That length is taken as inundation distance. Based upon the inundation distance, the coastal areas can be demarcated as tsunami prone area and tsunami sensitive areas. So the height of the tsunami waves marked in some of the available objects and distance of inundation, they are selected as the parameters. Accordingly, the predictions can be made. The design of the built space. So in architecture, the modeling principles are involved. How the air recirculation systems has to be identified and placed to maintain ambient environmental quality within the room. This kind of modeling is very important, dealing with the hazardous materials in hazardous material processing laboratories. The study of these kind of systems are designated as study of biological rooms, or modeling of biological rooms will be studied later. Designing of wastewater treatment plants, the operations occurring in each and every stages of a wastewater treatment as well as drinking water treatment plant can be optimized. This is a model drinking water treatment plant where slow sand filtration is done from using the natural water collected from the nearby stream or riverine system. After slow sand filtration, it is subjected to ozonation. After ozonization, the water is allowed to flow into a upflow tubular reactor it is filled with garnet sand. You know, garnet sand is an ideal material for softening of the hard water. It can pick up calcium and magnesium and can be deposited on its surface, and the water will be, after the flow tubular reactor filtration, the water will be softened. The softened water is neutralized and it is filtered through activated carbon filters and is collected in tank, and it is further subjected to rapid sand filtration prior to distribution. So design and optimization of drinking water treatment plant is very important in modeling applications. So this is the close-up pictures of a flow tubular reactor in drinking water treatment plant. It's an activated carbon filtration unit where the monolayer adsorption capacity of the activated carbon decides how many cubic meters of contaminated water can be filtered by every 1 kilogram of the activated carbon. So adsorption theory and adsorption models are involved prior to the design of this activated carbon filtration system. An adsorbent material, an activated carbon, its surface area is determined, monolayer adsorption capacity is determined, then it is put into a tubular reactor, model tubular reactor. Water is allowed to filter through the carbon filter columns with a known designated flow rate with a dissolved substrate concentration over a period of time till its capacity is exhausted. From that, the specific purification capacity of the carbon is predicted accordingly for a huge treatment plant. If millions of cubic meters of water has to be purified, how many tons of activated carbons are required for a single operations can be decided. That kind of decision can be taken by the people like you after studying these kind of courses. So it is a sand filtration model, sand filtration unit generally used in drinking water treatment plant. I have mentioned that activated carbon, such material generated, newly generated, is tested in MIDI columns, then experimental tubular columns filled with the material and is allowed to flow with water, and its adsorption efficiency is tested prior to it is applied in large scale operations. So I have mentioned garnet sand is an ideal material for softening of the hard water. In upflow tubular reactor, where hard water is treated, going to the previous slide, this is a tubular reactor filled with the garnet sand. The water having hardness providing ions magnesium and calcium is made alkaline, and it is allowed to flow into a flow tubular reactor. Then calcium and magnesium is deposited, and the deposited calcium and magnesium can be retrieved. So after the filtration we get material, a hardened material, that is hardness ions are removed. We can say environmental modeling is a continuous scientific development where each process are designated as an expression of a mathematical formula. Environmental processes are complex interactions of nature. They can be defined in terms of scientific and technical terms. Mass and energy balances are involved. Microbial population kinetics are described. Principles of thermodynamics are applied. Transport processes are scientifically described. Chemical and biochemical reactions are expressed in terms of kinetic relationships. Mass and heat energy and its transfer are expressed in physical terms. Stoichiometry of interaction can also be expressed in terms of simple mathematical relationships. Accordingly, major environmental process, modeling of climate, modeling of geographic systems, modeling of natural disasters, and modeling of human interventions can be done using the principles of mathematical models. Of course, design and optimization of wastewater treatment plants. Relevance of mathematical models. Managing complex environmental phenomena by converting large volume of process information into a more understandable package. Mathematical models can be used to manage complex environmental phenomena by converting a large volume of process information into a more understandable package. This is end of the first talk and the beginning of the second lecture. In this lecture, we will go in deep regarding classification of environmental model systems and the study of adsorption isotherm models. Thank you.